I was stuck trying to manifest a goal for 3 years and nothing happened until I finally figured out what was I doing wrong. Once I figured out what I was doing wrong, everything completely changed. That goal, I manifested it in 2 months. And today I'm going to show you exactly why your manifestations and your goals are not coming true and how to fix it. Let's dive in. So, the number one reason why your goals are not manifesting, if we first look about what do most people do? And the reason why we want to look at this is because usually over about 90% of people don't really accomplish their goals or get what it is that they truly, truly desire. So what do they usually do when it comes to manifesting and trying to accomplish their goals? Typically, they'll do the affirmations, right? They'll do the positive thinking. They'll visualize it. And these are all amazing, amazing, amazing pieces. But we're missing a massive, massive, crucial step to manifesting. So if we look at the science and spiritual side of what manifesting is, it is basically where you are creating a new reality. You're creating a new reality of your desires, right? So basically, you are creating a new outcome in your reality. Either if it is abundance, if it is love, whatever it may be, you are putting the thought, the intention out there into the universe. You're attracting it into your life. So you're intentionally, that's manifesting, right? You're creating something. So, how does it actually work though? If we look at the science behind manifesting, the law of attraction, how it works is for the law of attraction, it's like attracts like. And what that means is that if you want to attract something into your life, you need to match it. But how do you match it? You need to attune your frequency to it, which means you need to vibrate on, oops, means that you need to vibrate on the same, we'll say, level of what you want. So, again, what most people do is they do the thoughts, right? They'll do the thoughts, they'll do the visualizations, they'll see it, and they'll really step into it as much as possible. But the problem is to manifesting is that your thoughts are only one small piece of the pie. One small piece of the pie. Because how do you change? Okay, so how do you change your own state of being? How do you change your own personal frequency? How do you change the way that you vibrate? Well, if we look at it, it all comes down to your most dominant state of being. That is your most dominant frequency. What you put your most focus on most. Do you live in a abundant world or a scarcity world? Do you live in a as a confident self or an insecure self? Where do you put most of your focus and intention? So, like we talked about, what most people do, so let's say this is you, this is your eyeball. What most people do is they'll focus on their thoughts and plus they'll focus on visualizing, right? Visualize it and also the thoughts around it and the thoughts about themselves. But here's the thing is that this is only 5% of the work. And what I mean by that is 95% of our lives that we live is in our subconscious mind. So I'll put this as sub C. And your subconscious mind is where all of your beliefs, your fears, your trauma, your habits, all of this stuff lays in there. So typically we're only conscious about 5% of the time. Everything else that we do, 95%, it's in our subconscious mind. And the reason why is because the brain wants safety and security. It wants predictable outcomes. It wants to do the same things over and over and over again. So the problem is that we're trying to fix the 5% when we're conscious through changing our thoughts, right? And that when we visualize the success, maybe 5 minutes a day, right? And maybe when we do this, we're in an abundant state. But what about the 95%? That is where your core state of being is. And this is the biggest problem that I had and a lot of people have when it comes to manifesting and creating themselves a new life is that they focus on the external, they focus on the 5% by trying to change their thoughts, right? And doing that little bit of work every day. But the problem is that if we don't change the 95%, we don't actually change. And the 95% is where your core belief systems are and your fears. And here's the thing about how the brain works is that your thoughts come from your core belief systems. Okay, a thought held for 7 seconds produces an emotion, and over time, what neuroscience shows is thoughts and emotions held over time creates your identity. Now, we naturally take action based off our emotional state, but we also take action based off of our identity, right? It kind of influences our behavior. So we take action, and how do you get any kind of result in your life? It's from action. So if you want to change your life, if you want to change your outcomes, right? If you want to change all that, you need to change your most dominant state. You need to attract what it is that you want, right? A lot of people think like, well, I want love, and they go chase love. But the key is that you need to become it now. You need to vibrate at that level as if the partner is already in your life. And how you do that, how you change that 95% is by changing those core belief systems. Because once you change the core belief systems, automatically will change the way that you think about yourself, the way that you feel about yourself. And that is over time going to change your state. That over time is going to change your state of being. And when you change your overall state of being, your reality changes too. When you match that level, when you vibrate at that level, your reality changes too. So let's break this down, okay? Because you truly do get what it is that you want as soon as you ask for it, but it's never as it seems. So let's say this is the goal self of who you want to become, all right? And this is you now. And let's say you put out an intention of, I want abundance. I want to hit this certain financial goal, right? Well, this goal self, you need to match how they think, how they feel, how they act, and what they believe, right? Because here's an example is let's say your current belief right now is money is stressful. But the abundant version of you that you're manifesting, the goal self, they feel free, right? Is it freeing to think that money is stressful? No, that's not free. So what happens is that as soon as you ask, right? As soon as you ask, the world is going to start reorganizing itself. It's going to start changing. And as you do this, as you start to transform yourself, this is what I call resistance. Resistance is going to pop up. And this is all for you. This is all for you so you can work through, so you can get to where it is that you want to be. Because you cannot bring your current belief systems with you if you want to change yourself. Because those core belief systems are getting you the results that you have in your life right now. So they must go, right? We must let go what's not meant for us so we can get what is meant for us. So this is where a lot of people struggle is they put the thought out there, they ask for it, and then these problems and challenges start to come up in their lives. And what happens is that they go back into scarcity and fear, and they go back to that state of being rather than trust, abundance, letting go, allowing it, and truly stepping into that unknown and allowing the world to reorganize itself to get you what it is that you want. right? So instead of moving through and working through these limiting beliefs that money's stressful or whatever it may be, we instead, when this stuff pops up, we retreat back home, right? Back to where we are. And we go back to our same thinking, feeling patterns, our same thoughts, etc. But once we're able to wipe out those limiting beliefs, right? We start to get more and more closer to who it is that we want to become. So that's what I mean by once you ask for what you want, you will get it, but it's never how it seems. But these challenges and things that pop up, these old systems of being that you've always been, they need to go because they're no longer in alignment with who you want to be. And that's the biggest problem that we have when it comes to manifesting is the number one is a lack of trust. The trust in the unfolding. And I always share this quote that my mentor shared with me is that before you change up a room, it's got to get a little bit messy at first. Old systems need to fall apart so new systems can come into place that align with what it is that you want. So the biggest problem that we have though is that trust factor because the way that we've done things to get us to where we are now, right? We don't want to let go of that because it's scary for the animal brain, the lizard brain, because that brain just wants to keep you safe and secure. So it's literally a battle of like your soul self, okay? Your powerful self, the one who trusts, the one who's abundant, the one who is unconditional loving, the one who is full of joy, right? Versus, we'll say, animal self, which has fear, which wants safety, which wants security, right? But here's the problem is that when you make these changes, there is going to be an unknown stage. And this is where you have to have courage to keep moving forwards and to not fall back into that animal state of being. Because that unknown stage is where your new creations come around. It's where the new ideas, it's where the new self gets created so you can step into what it is that you actually want. So if we run down how to manifest, all you have to do is focus on your thought plus emotions to match desired self. Okay? So that's number one. And then number two, as you go, resistance pops up. Okay? So resistance pops up. And your job here, when this resistance pops up, is don't go back to fear/old state. Okay? It's okay if you don't prefer something. It's okay because it will change. But observe it. Don't identify yourself so deeply with it. Okay? And stay in that positive thinking and emotional state. Because when this resistance pops up, right, understand that it's only because it's a limiting belief or a fear. And then what you want to do is rewire it. And as soon as you rewire it, get back into the state. State as in state of being of who it is that you want to become. So that's the biggest thing that people struggle with, guys, is they struggle with the trust and how things unfold for them. Because usually we're brought up to come from a place of logic and control. We feel the need to control everything because maybe we don't feel safe and secure or trust in the way things unfold. But if you want something that you've never had, you need to do things that you've never done. So you need to have courage to step into that unknown state. So as long as you focus on your consistent thoughts and emotions, over time, as you hold that state of being, your old ways of being will pop up to the surface. You get to observe them, the fears and limiting beliefs that you're having, and you get to rewire them, unpluck them out, so you vibrate higher, your frequency rises, and you get more in tuned with what it is that you want. And you just keep doing that and you keep doing that and you keep doing that and keep focusing on staying in that state of being and learn the lessons, reflect constantly, move through those patterns, those unconscious habits, etc. And keep unplucking whatever it is that is not in line with who you want to become. And I promise you, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be exactly where you've always been. Because again, the only difference between who you want to become is they have different results. And they have different results because they take different actions. And they're able to take consistent actions differently over time because they have a different kind of identity. They think and feel differently about themselves. And that only happens from the core belief systems. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the training for today. And if you like this training, make sure you subscribe below, leave a like, and let me know what really hit home the most for you, because I know how stressful it can be trying to change your life, trying to create a life that you love, and really struggling. I've been doing this stuff for over 9 years now. So if you have any questions, you can always reach me at caden.hayward on Instagram. And I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you next time.